This is the current state of the mini blinds in my kitchen. Not ideal. The first step in fixing this issue is to measure out the window. My measurement was 34 7/8 inches on the width and 58 3/4 inches on the height. Also measured my old blind width, which came out to 34.5 inches. With these measurements, we're ready for a Walmart run. And I'm going for cheap and simple, so these Mainstays blinds will do. Picking them out can be tricky. The large measurement on the box is the size of the window, so the 34-inch blind will actually measure 33.5 inches, which is noted in the smaller print. I accidentally bought the 34-inch for my 35-ish inch window and had to return those for the 35, which measured at 34.5 inches. Don't make that mistake. For the length or height, you just want to make sure the new blinds measure longer than your window opening. You can leave some length bunched up at the bottom, or if it's way too long, remove some slats. Now that we have our new blinds, let's remove these old ones. The process will vary based on what type of blind you have. Mine are 15 years old, so chances are yours will be different. For whatever reason, when I installed these, I set them in the back of the window opening. The new blinds say to install near the front of the opening, which I think will look better. For Mainstays blinds less than 36 inches, they only give you 2 brackets. The instructions say to space 3 inches from the edge when you have 3 brackets, but gave no guidance on 2 brackets. So what I did was take the measurement of the window, which is approximately 35 inches, half that, which is 17.5 inches, then half that, which is 8.25 inches. So I'll install the bracket 8.25 inch from the edge on each side. For inside the window mounting, it shows the bracket set back from the edge slightly. To make sure this looked right, I held the bracket on the blind and held it up. I will not fully engage the bracket on the blind yet, as I did have some problems removing it when I did that on my next set. I ended up using a square to make sure I lined it up straight so that I can mark the screw locations. The hole for the screws is large enough where you don't have to be perfect here. You will be able to adjust slightly before tightening the screw all the way down. After doing this for both sides, I used a drill with a bit smaller than the provided screw to pre-drill. Pre-drilling made getting the screw started much easier. I used the impact driver to get the screw most of the way in, but to prevent stripping the screw, I finished up with a regular Phillips driver. The brackets are in and feel sturdy. Now time to install the blinds. There is a slot in the front of the blinds for the wand, so be sure not to install it backwards. Once you get the blinds clicked into the brackets, you can adjust the blinds to evenly space the gap on each side. They are tight in the brackets, but you can still adjust fairly easily. To finish, we'll install the wand. To install, just simply press it into the available opening until you hear a click. And there we have it, a complete install of Walmart's Mainstays mini blinds using the inside window mounting option. That was so much fun, let's replace the one on the door next. On this set, we'll be installing to a metal door using the outside mounting option. It's basically the same process as before, so I'll go over it quickly. The window measured 23 inches, but the smallest set of blinds Walmart had was 27 inches, so I went with that. The 27-inch width ended up being perfect as it covered the holes left by the old set. Alright, I like this width. Now let's measure for our brackets. I measured in 3 inches from the edge of the blind and found that I was landing right on the edge of the window glass, so I used that as my reference points for the brackets. Now I'll mark the bracket holes for pre-drilling. This is especially important for a metal door. And remember, the holes are big enough where we will have some wiggle room if we need to adjust. Now with the brackets installed, let's snap these into place and see if there's any adjustments that need to be made. Alright, that looks pretty good, but I can tell the left side is down a bit. Let's get a level on it to see if that's the case. And yep, it is. We do need to come up a bit on this side. I was able to push up on this side and down on this side, and I was able to get it to slide within the screws, and we ended up being level. And then the last step is to attach the wand, and we are done.